Welcome back to the Church of MMA podcast. My name is Mason Knight. That is Tabor Cregan. This is our weekly podcast that we do. We're two fight fans who just like to get together, talk about fights, break down fights, give you guys the predictions, what our predictions are, and the betting odds every single week. So here we are talking about UFC fight card preview 167. But before that, we're going to jump into some MMA news.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but before we do that, guys, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at The Church of MMA. Give us a follow. We're going to let you guys know what we're doing this week. We're going to let you know when the podcasts drop. We're going to post funny memes. We're going to make you guys laugh. Give us a follow. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at The Church of MMA. Also, all the podcasts are out. They're on iTunes. They're on Stitcher. They're on Soundcloud. They're on Spotify. Get them where you can. But, man, there's a lot of news, actually, this week. There really was. I think we should start right off with, I thought, we don't have to, it's not the biggest news ever, but it's just funny. You know, Ben Askren came out and said that he wants to train Logan Paul, and he wants to make sure that he fights Dylan Dennis and beats him.
Dylan Dennis, man, I don't know where this guy came from, but it's just like he can't stay out of the drama. He can't stay out of, like, the shit talking.
No, it's the
He's
only
not even
way
a prevalent
he stays
fighter
relevant.
Either.
No, it's the only way he stays relevant. He talks shit. He rides Conor's nuts. You know, he sucks him off every once in a while.
Yeah.
He's doing some stupid shit to get his name out there as much as possible. This guy's a total absolute clown, but you know what? He's pretty damn entertaining sometimes on
I guess
Twitter.
so.
You know, Ben Askren fucking hates this guy. They're
They're
a lot
not
of
fans
shit. Yeah.
of one another.
No. They've talked a whole lot of shit. You know, at one point they were like, man, grappling match, $50,000 to your favorite charity, and I'll do it. And it just never happened. You know, Ben Askren ended up wrestling Jordan Burroughs.
Oh, yeah.
You know, just a little unknown guy, Jordan Burroughs. just some random slump, Jordan Burroughs. But that was a great match, by the way. Did you ever see that?
No, I didn't. I didn't get to watch it.
Dude, it was just double leg after double leg. Jordan Burroughs is a fucking
of course, he's an animal.
beast.
Yeah.
That guy's easily the greatest wrestler, maybe of all time, especially in America. But yeah, man, would you like to see Logan Paul in an MMA match?
You know, I've talked about this a lot, like just with people in general. A lot of people hate the whole Logan Paul thing. They don't like the promotional boxing that he's doing. I personally think it's one, so extremely smart.
Yeah.
I think Logan Paul is actually a genius in his own right. Like being able to put together things. He's making a killing. He's making so much money. And he's just
so
smart.
much money.
He's doing shit he loves to do too. He likes to box. He's an athletic kid. I mean, look at him.
Yeah.
And yeah, okay, it's not elite level boxing by any means, but it's still entertaining to watch. I still enjoy watching it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I dogged on it a little bit when I initially heard of it, but I really enjoy what Logan Paul has to offer in boxing. I like the whole celebrity boxing that they're really trying to start doing now.
And it's smart with them to partner with DAZN because no one wants to fucking pay for a pay-per-view with Logan Paul.
No.
Like, dude, I'm not paying $60
But if you
to
have
watch this guy
DAZN,
fight. Exactly.
You're like, okay, yeah, I'll do that.
Why not?
Yeah.
If you're already a boxing fan, if you're already an MMA fan, you watch Bellator, all that bullshit. Oh, there's a Logan Paul. He's fighting some fucking tomato can from McDonald's down the street. I'll watch that shit.
Yeah.
I'll watch him
already
beat
have
the
it
shit
anyway,
out of that guy.
or I'll sign up for $10-20 a month.
Yeah, why not? Yeah. Does he ever take an MMA fight? I don't think so. You know, there was that picture of him on Instagram with Scott Coker the other day. And that really made the rounds. That really got a lot of buzz behind it.
He won't do MMA, but what I will tell you is he probably will box Dylan Dennis. I don't see why he wouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if
be
Dennis
smart.
would take the fight. He seems to be a lot of mouth these days. But
No, and that guy can't fucking strike.
No.
that guy can't strike to save his life. He's a ground fighter. There's no way he takes any other fight than an MMA fight. I mean, we're all talking shit here about the Jake Paul, Logan Paul MMA fight, but let's be real. This guy's never going to take a boxing fight. This guy cannot strike, you know. That was funny. But in other news, man, Colby Covington, he is back. He did his first interview since that loss, you know, and he talked a lot of shit. Talked some shit about Kamaru.
Yeah, he did. He said the officiating, it was rigged.
Yep.
Not a fan of Mark Goddard.
Not a fan
Thinks he's
at all.
an idiot.
Yeah, called him like one of the worst refs of all time and all that bullshit.
And he was talking about the eye poke and how it was a different eye that Usman said that he even got poked in to begin with.
Well, let's talk about that for a second. The nut shot. That was not a nut shot.
No, and I said that initially when I watched the fight. But what I will say on the eye poke is like that could be super. You could literally just edit the two photos together.
Well, looking back on the replay, it did look like he eye poked him. It did, especially when they showed the replay.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not agreeing with Colby at all. I think he poked his eye. I don't think it was on purpose. I think Usman doing it back to him was on purpose. I thought that was intentional.
But yes.
Yeah.
But that's for sure. And I think that's what he was really more mad about, was the intentional eye poke on his own.
About.
But the nut shot thing, that he did not hit him. He did not hit him in the privates, man. That hit him right in the body, right above. That's a total legal shot. Usman got that break. I don't know if he was getting tired. I don't know if he was breaking, but we all saw in that fight that Colby was on his way to breaking him. And so Colby was also really, really mad that Usman's corner found out that he said that I have a broken jaw.
Which I completely disagree with Colby Covington here.
100%.
Because he was saying it to his coach anyway, and it's part of the sport.
And he was mad that there was microphones, cameras. He was mad that it was played over the TV. He was mad that the commentators were talking about his broken jaw, because in the 4th round, you saw on camera, someone ran up to Usman's corner and told him, hey, Colby's got a broken jaw. And then Usman's corner man right up behind him, hey, Colby's got a broken jaw. He's got a broken jaw. And, and Usman, maybe he doesn't get that information. Maybe, that helps him get to that next level where he needs to keep in there.
And that is a good point. I mean, it definitely could have. I mean, if you hear your opponent has a broken jaw, you're like, oh, wow, I can.
Yeah, it's a morale boost.
Exactly. If you were feeling down in the dumps, you're like, man, I might not be able to finish it, which these fighters never feel that way. But you get what I'm saying. It's a morale boost is what that is.
For sure. And there was one thing, like, people were really comparing that, like, mainly Colby fans, people defending Colby, but people were comparing that to Macy Barber. When she hurt her knee, the doctor came in, was feeling her knee, and it's like, if you're an opponent and you see, hey, obviously she's injured, the doctor's checking out her knee, I'm going to go for that knee. I'm going to kick that knee. I'm going to make sure that knee gets even worse. I'm going to make sure she wants to quit and doesn't want to walk. But Roxanne Modafferi is just apparently the nicest human being on earth.
She is. And it was so funny, too, because Macy Barber went on Ariel's Hawani's podcast after that, and he was interviewing her, and she was like, no. She goes, I'm glad Roxanne was super nice to me, because I would have attacked her leg had I known she'd been in the exact same situation I was.
Yep.
She goes, my job is to win.
Yep.
I was like, damn, okay.
Yeah, it's a little shocking that Roxanne would be so nice, and she knew the whole time.
Yeah.
She could say what she wants to say, but she knew. After you see the doctor just grab
of course
the opponent's knee like that, like, it's so obvious. But Colby wants the immediate rematch, man.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I mean, but the welterweight division is so stacked.
It's like, and it's log jammed a little bit. I don't think Colby gets the immediate rematch. He says, he's talking shit. He's always saying crazy shit as usual. But he says,
Dana already said that Jorge Masvidal, was already going to happen in July. So he's not going to get that rematch.
No. And if George wins, then maybe he gets that rematch in a 5-round main event, non-title fight. But I think that's really his best chance of getting that rematch.
I totally agree.
I'd love to see the Chiesa fight. Chiesa called him out. I don't think he takes it, but I'd love to see that fight. Colby said
Colby's too high to take a fight in Chiesa.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's too big of a risk. That guy might be able to out-grapple him. But Colby said he's willing to wait. He's willing to wait as long as it takes to get that rematch, and he's willing to literally never fight again if that's what it takes to getting that rematch. Don't be saying shit like that, bro. Don't be saying shit like that, man, because it might happen.
Because it could happen. I mean, you have the Tyron Woodley fight with Leon Edwards that's coming up. The winner of that could very well get the next title shot after the Usman Jorge Masvidal fight.
Yeah,
it's very possible. So you could be sitting out a year and a half.
Yeah, not a smart move.
No,
I mean he already sat out so long.
But the problem is like, who does he fight? Who does he fight? You don't have anyone. You have Damian Maia at 5, and then Stephen Thompson at 6. So what are we doing? A Stephen Thompson Colby fight? Like, it doesn't work.
That's an intriguing fight.
It's not, though.
I think
not
it
for
is.
Me. I think Colby's not gonna. If Colby gets caught, he's gonna clinch up with him. He's gonna take him down. He's gonna beat the shit out of Wonderboy. Wonderboy's good, and he's a great counter striker and stuff. But that's not who Colby Covington is. Covington's gonna work him. He's gonna get him tired. I think he just completely dominates on the ground.
Who has taken Wonderboy down, though? Who's taken him down and controlled him on the ground? I think it's
Woodley
a big test.
Didn't.
I was thinking,
not really. I guess he did one time, but
he did a little bit, but that was after knocking him down already. But I was thinking about this earlier. Who does Wonderboy fight next? there's not that many options. He wants a top guy. I was thinking about this. You almost have to throw him in against a grappler. I would love to see him Wonderboy fight
I'd like
Damian
to see
Maia.
Wonderboy and Chiesa. That's what I'd like to see.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's what I'd like to see.
Fight.
They're 6 and 7 right now, so let's just do that one.
That's a great
But
fight.
again, where does that leave Damian Maia? What do you do with Maia?
Yeah, he needs a fight.
Yeah,
I mean, and no one's asking for that Colby rematch. I mean, Colby, the way Colby beat him the first time, no one wants to see that fight again.
So and that's 2 and 5. So it's like, what are we gonna do now?
Yeah. He's almost in a little bit of a limbo. Mm-hmm. I mean, people do want to
Maia beat Askren, and that's the last fight he's had, and that was back in October.
Yeah. Well, who knows for Colby? He might get the rematch. Shit. Usman beats up George, beats him up bad. Who's Usman gonna face? Other than maybe a Conor McGregor.
Who's Usman gonna face?
If he beats up George.
If he beats up George, he's gonna take the winner of fucking Woodley and Leon Edwards.
Oh, that's right. Well,
yeah, absolutely. That'll happen.
People are asking for that fight, but he already beat Leon Edwards, and I don't see it going any other different.
Yeah, but he beat Leon Edwards like 4 or 5 years ago. That's a different fighter.
And they were both up and coming guys.
Exactly.
And they were both
that's
unranked
the same.
guys.
That's the same to say that you wouldn't want to see the Conor McGregor Max Holloway fight because we saw that when they were 19 and 20 years old. Now,
Okay,
fuck
that's a
that,
good
Jack.
point.
I want to see Conor McGregor versus Max Holloway. Max coming up to 155. I think it's too late now. I think Conor might be a little too big for him these days. But that would have been a great fight 3 or 4 years ago in 2017 or, so.
Yeah. I look at the way Leon Edwards has been winning his last few fights. Mainly been taking people down and controlling them on the ground, getting those decisions. I just don't see him out wrestling Usman. So that fight doesn't intrigue me as much as I'd like it to do. In the Tyron Woodley fight,
I think a lot of people just count out Leon Edwards, though.
yeah, you're right, and
They
that
do.
may be what it. That might
And
be. What
I don't
it
know,
is.
for whatever reason, he's like the Tony Ferguson of the welterweights, where it's like he can just keep winning and winning and winning and winning, and people are just like, oh yeah, it's Leon. It's just not even an afterthought.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
unfortunately, for whatever reason, that's where Leon Edwards is.
Eight
He's
fight
won
win
7,
streak.
8 fights
Yeah.
in a row. It's like, at what point do we start respecting the guy?
Yeah, you really have to. You really have to, but it's just that fight is just it doesn't sell to me. That fight doesn't scream
why does
buy
it
this
not?
pay-per-view.
Why does it not sell to you though?
I just
hear me
Usman's
out.
wrestling is just too good.
Okay, but yeah. I mean,
I just
it
think
is
he's
good.
better. It's
but
just-
he's also faced guys like Dos Anjos. He felt Gunnar Nelson. He beat Cerrone.
The problem with my logic is that, especially if Leon Edwards wins, he deserves the rematch, or he deserves it. He deserves a title shot, regardless of who's the champion. If George wins that fight, knocks out Kamaru with a flying knee or some shit, just Ben Askren's him. It has to be Leon Edwards, the 3-piece in the soda for that. And that fight intrigues me way more than a Kamaru Usman Leon Edwards fight does. For sure, that fight intrigues me more. But like I said, Usman's wrestling is so good, so I guess only time will really tell, man. That welterweight division, we could talk about that all night long.
Yeah, you can. I mean, the top 10 are all killers.
They're all killers.
Let's not forget Nate Diaz, Rafael Dos Anjos, Robbie Lawler,
Santiago,
Jeff Neal
yes,
at
Jeff
11,
Neal,
who's an
Santiago
up-and-comer.
Ponzinibbio. Where the fuck has that guy been?
He's not even on the top 15.
He got pulled. Wow, it's because it's been like 2 years since he's fought. That guy is a savage.
But yeah, I'll give you the rest right here. Gilbert Burns at 12, Anthony Pettis 13, Vince Luque at 14, and you're gonna laugh your ass off at 15.
Yeah, it's Conor, isn't it?
It's Conor McGregor.
Oh
Yep.
my god, I knew it. I had no
gotta
idea.
Put him on every board. They have to. You know how this is.
God, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Beats Cowboy. It's a lightweight fight, but he's ranked now, dude. They want that.
They want it so bad.
They know
They need
if Khabib fucks him up, they're like, all right, 170.
You got to
for
go to
you.
170.
Yep,
Yep.
and you stay there.
You got to stay there until old Habib retires, and then you can come back down. You don't want that smoke twice, man. Because I don't know. Yeah, I'm not. We're not getting there yet.
And just watch, Marty's already asking for that fight too. So it's like, I'll take number 15.
Yeah.
Give me that. I don't give a shit what number it is. You don't want the red panties, baby. All right, man. Well, we talked about Colby in this welterweight division for a while, man. Winklejohn and what is it called? Jackson Wink. Sorry, Jackson Wink Academy.
Yeah.
There's been quite a lot of drama stirring around this place the last few months, man. And mainly around Jon Jones, mainly around former coach of Jon Jones, Frank Lester, former striking coach. He's been with Jackson Wink for a long time. Consider them all family. And recently, 2-3 months ago, there was a huge falling through. And Frank Lester says that he didn't get paid his $30,000 that was owed, or $20,000 that was owed. 15. It was a large sum of money.
Wow.
20 to 15 grand. And Jon Jones denied it. And it ended up becoming to the point where Frank Lester is very angry and becoming very violent in the workplace. And he got fired. He no longer works at Jackson Winklejohn. He is opening his own gym and all this. So the drama, it was so crazy. It ended up in lots of tweets. Frank Lester was threatening to find Jon Jones in the streets and try to fight him. Like, he wanted to...
Jeez.
Like we're not Jon Jones, the carpenter or the electrician that lives down the street. Like, we're talking...
like the pound-for-pound greatest fighter of all time, Jon Jones.
The greatest champion of all time, most title defenses of anyone else. Like... This guy is trying to fight Jon Jones in the street over $15,000.
I don't think it's going to end well for you.
This guy's absolutely
If you're going to fight
insane.
Jon Jones, fight him in the court of law. Let's not fight him in a street, in an octagon, anywhere where it can get physical, because it's not going to end well for you.
Yeah. Well, all this drama kind of died down, but recently, this last week, it kind of sprung back up again, man. I'm just going to read this, and I'm going to get your reaction to it, man. This is Frank Lester on Instagram. So, obviously, he's talking about Jackson Wink Academy. So, Frank Lester, fakest group of people I've ever been around. They will invite you on the team after 8 years of faithful service. They will use you for the highest level of sparring and drilling. They will pray with you like you family. But in actuality, none of these dudes actually give a flying fuck about each other personally. They're just hanging on John's nutsack because they want to get paid. And when I got ripped off, all these so-called friends turned their backs on me, and all the hard work I was giving the Team Jones and Jackson MMA was all over the last 8 years. Just because John is a super control freak who has to get what was his, and if you're not ready to be his yes man and suck his inflated ego dick, then you're out. Well, let's see what karma has in store for this weekend with these fucking chumps. Let them hate so long as they fear. I'm not the one who needed to involve the police or call Greg Jackson's punk ass because Jon Jones was too scared to come fight me like a man for money he owed me. Oh yeah, Jon Jones is a master in the cage but a bitch in the street. So he had to Greg call his little girlfriend who worked for APD and submit an unlawful red flag memorandum and on me because John's pussy ass thought I might shoot him, which I never said anything of the sort and hinted of that even possibly happening. Just got his bitch ass cowards with no street heart to handle his own bullshit in real life. When it comes to real men being about real business, he had to make sure the law. Blah. It goes on for a fucking while.
Did you get the rights for this audio book? Because goodness gracious, I want to know when this thing hits shelves because I'm gonna buy it. Because what you just read to me was a fucking book. This man is very upset.
It goes on, dude. This guy's pissed.
Yeah,
he's fucking pissed, and it's to the point where they had to call the police. Jeez. They had to call the cops because they thought this guy was gonna murder Jon Jones. Like. This shit's crazy, man. And this is all blown up publicly, very publicly. This is a huge story.
Yeah. Well, for whatever reason, Jackson Wink has had a really hard time with their fighters, like the whole Cerrone thing a few years ago.
Yeah.
Right? Where you're just like, what the fuck?
And that's what kind of started it for everybody. Everyone's like, what's going on in this gym? What's going on? And now this Frank Lester stuff. So
yeah, and you're starting to ask questions. You're like, what the like, why? Yeah. Why is there so much drama in this camp?
Yeah, it's very weird. And this only adds to it. So Diego Sanchez on UFC on Instagram. Real talk, at Cowboy Cerrone. I publicly apologize for defending Jackson Wink MMA. Honestly, it was only Chad Inspire MMA I was defending. At Frank Lester, I feel for you. You got fucked over so bad. The truth hurts. I'm posting this in hopes other top teams like America Top Team and others will help a man that got screwed over by a fake family.
That's what Cerrone said back to him?
No, this is what Diego Sanchez is saying.
Oh, wow.
So, yep. So, I opened up the doors of MMA for Greg and every other New Mexican living off the UFC. Then they shit all over my legacy, taking advantage of thousands of dollars, time, energy, and real love I poured into that gym. the young fighters who desperately needed an honest, loving mentor who was willing to share exponential wisdom. The truth is JW is not Jackson Wink. It's Jones Wink.
Wow.
So Diego Sanchez trained there for years. Very long time. Everyone considered that guy a brother over there. So if this guy's saying this, man, things are not going right over there. You know,
they're going right for the champ.
For John.
Yeah, for John, but that's
for
about
John.
it.
Holly's on a little bit of a skid. Michelle Watterson lost her last fight, but that's not because of John Jones. You know, that's not because of Jackson Wink. But, you know, I think a lot more people are going to American Top Team. You know, that gym's becoming one of the biggest gyms in the world. And Jackson Wink, you know, they've lost a lot of their mainstay guys. It's Cowboy Cerrone. And that was such a public blow up.
That was a crazy blow up. Yeah.
Crazy. And he went off on them on the Joe Rogan podcast. So, man, it's really insane. It just makes me sit back and think, what is going on over there? Is it just that they're neglecting everybody and just focusing on their stars like Holly and John?
Probably, yeah.
I hope that's not, because they put on such a good front. They seem like super nice people. If this is true and they are pretty fake, man, that's unfortunate for their team. It really is, you know. And Frank Lester seemed like a real crazy person. that guy did not seem right in the head. Yeah. So the whole time I'm reading this shit, I'm just thinking, obviously this guy's crazy, so this guy must be full of shit. But then Diego Sanchez comes out and says some stuff. And let's be real, that guy's crazy as shit too.
Yeah, he definitely is.
So he left. Let's think about this. He left Jackson Wink to go train with that goofy ass motherfucker who's hitting him in the abs while he's hanging upside down like Spider-Man. Like, what? Dude, his new coach is a whack job. Total whack job. Does not know what the fuck he's doing. So if he's leaving Jackson Wink for that guy, that's not a good sign, dude. Not a good sign at all. Hopefully someone over there figures something out. Oh, that's just crazy. But man, there was a press conference right before the card this last weekend.
Yeah, there was UFC 248.
Yep, getting ready for the next pay-per-view, man. I'm
March 7th.
Getting really excited for
Can't
this
wait
card.
for it.
Yeah.
Yoel Romero versus Israel Adesanya.
Yeah. Can't wait. When they were talking some mad shit. I mean, it's hard to talk shit to Yoel Romero.
It is.
Because you don't know what the fuck he's saying.
No, get Jesus. What? No. It's okay, Jesus. Oh, okay.
Who's gay Jesus?
I know. I was like, who's gay Jesus? And then all those gay Jesus memes, I was like, oh, this is funny. It's just because his English is so bad,
It's so bad. You cannot understand what the fuck
just
this guy's
for
saying.
Jesus. You think he's saying, no gay Jesus. No, that's not what he's saying.
Yeah, and it was funny because Israel was talking mad shit to him at the press conference, and then Yoel couldn't say nothing back because he can't speak English, so he just gets up and he goes, Mr. Israel, tries to shake his hand, freaks the shit out of Dana, thinks they're gonna fucking fight there. Yeah, that was funny stuff though.
Well, and I would be freaked out if I was Dana too, because you push that fucking boulder known as Yoel Romero.
You do not
because
want to be
he
in
is
between
literally as firm as a rock.
Yeah,
I've heard like everyone who says that when people punch him, when fighters punch him, they say it hurts when they punch him. That's how solid that man is.
It's insane. You could punch that guy.
So
as hard
I can
as
imagine
you can.
Dana was pretty scared.
Yeah,
trying to get in the middle of those two.
Oh, dude, if you're in the, if I was in the grocery store line and Israel Adesanya was in front of me and Yoel Romero got behind me, I would just push my cart away, just walk away real slowly.
Later, it's not that big of a deal.
Yep, I'm just gonna go get some fast food tonight. Don't give a shit. Just not doing it. Nope. Do not want to get in between those two. I would not want to ref that fight.
No.
Okay, maybe I would just so I could get the best seat.
I love it, actually. Best seat in the house.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I'm excited for this fight card. It's a pretty big card. Like, once again, the UFC's done a pretty good job. Like, I think the most stacked card of the year so far is probably either this card or 249. It's pretty close. They're doing a good job of not blowing their whole load right away in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Like they still have a lot of fighters they're holding back.
Well, this is a double champ fight too. March 7th.
Yeah.
We have Weili Zhang.
Close.
Dang it.
Zhang Weili. It was real close though.
Zhang Weili and Joanna Jędrzejczyk.
Jędrzejczyk.
I just call her Joanna.
Joanna champion.
Yeah. Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Yes, yeah.
Jen Jankrin.
Say it.
Jen Jacek.
Jen Jacek, yeah. Jen Jacek.
Yeah, funky last name. But
I've known Joanna for years, too. I just can't say her last name. I can't do it.
No one
I don't know
can.
what it is.
No one can.
I used to be able to call her Joanna Champion, but I can't do that anymore. Maybe now I can. Maybe we can go back to that so I can pronounce her name.
Yeah.
Weili Zhang.
Yeah. Really.
Zhang Weili.
Yeah, really excited for that fight. Really excited for that whole card. Like, there are some big fights on it. So they announced that Jared Cannonier, he was struggling to find a fight for a long time.
Yeah, because Robert Whittaker dropped out of that one.
Yeah, Robert Whittaker dropped out. Darren Till was injured with an ankle injury. So they announced that he's probably just going to stay on as an alternate in case Yoel is struggling to make weight.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, because he's had problems making that weight cut before.
Yeah, and I like Cannonier fighting for a title. If Yoel can't make it, sure,
Yeah,
why not?
You know, if you're going to give Yoel a title shot after 3 losses, let's give Jared Cannonier.
Yeah.
The guy's undefeated at welterweight. I mean, not welterweight, at middleweight. He's been blasting fools, knocking fools out. He finished Jack Hermanson in the first round. Looked like a stud doing it. You know, he deserves a big fight. Why not?
I like that Neil Magny Li Jingliang fight too on that card.
Really?
That might be a fun one. Yeah, I watched Jingliang when that card was in China in like 2017. It's the first time I watched him, but he's an entertaining fighter.
Been a while since I've seen Neil Magny fight.
Ooh.
He's been taking a little break.
Yeah, a little bit.
I think he took all of 2019 off.
Alex Oliveira versus Max Griffin.
Great fight.
Derek Brunson.
Yeah, Derek Brunson, Edmund Shabazian.
Yeah, Shabazian.
Great fight.
Me?
Great
This
fight.
card is stacked. You're
Yeah,
right. It is stacked.
I can't wait till we do a podcast breaking all these fights down because it's such a good card. I cannot wait. The pay-per-views are going to be showing up this year for sure.
Yeah.
Even the fight nights have really, really done a good job, which brings us into this preview show, man. We got UFC Fight Night on ESPN Plus. Corey Anderson and Jan Blachowicz too.
Yes. And, obviously the first one, Corey dominated.
Oh, absolutely
on the ground,
dominated.
took Young Błachowicz down, and just kind of at will.
Yeah.
Kind of just worked him. So we'll see how this one goes.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple fights on the prelims that we just got to give a quick little shout out to. Just a good mention, I'll just start off with number 15 in the world, Casey Kenny at bantamweight. He's 13-1 record. He is fighting an unranked Merab Dalavi. I'm not even going to try. Merab.
Just call him Merab.
Everyone knows
Merab. That's what Sarah does.
Yep.
He just calls him Merab. Don't call him anything else.
Merab. Just punch a fucking hole in his chest.
Yeah.
And Longo.
I love that.
Dude. I love that team.
Oh, yeah. They pulled that soundbite out of a Chris Weidman fight, too, where he goes, I want you to punch a hole in his fucking chest. Okay?
I love that guy. The Ray Longo minute on the Ken and Flo is one of the best segments of any podcast.
Is.
That guy and Matt Serra, we've said it before. They deserve their own reality show.
They have to have their own reality show. I
so
don't know how
funny.
That's not a thing yet. Yeah. Dana White doesn't have something where you follow around 2 coaches all the time. It'd be hilarious. Put it on Fight Pass as a reality TV show.
Yeah. Get Ray Longo on a freaking, what do they call that show? Not the Contender Series. Looking for a fight.
Get
him on an episode of Looking for a Fight. Get him freaking on a jet ski, jumping a wave or some stupid shit like just to get his reaction. Yeah, but like
it would be that would be fun.
Yeah, but man, Matt Serra. So I listened to the UFC Unfiltered podcast with Matt Serra and Jim Norton. Check it out, guys. It's a really good one. UFC official podcast. He talks about Merab all the time. Mm-hmm. He talks about how this guy is just a freaking killer on the mats. His jiu-jitsu is very, very good. And his striking has evolved also. This guy's dangerous. And he's getting his first shot at a ranked opponent. He's struggled a little bit in the UFC. I think he lost his first UFC fight, and he was really nervous about getting that first UFC win. And when he finally did, he said it was the greatest moment of his life.
He lost his first 2.
Oh, his first 2.
He lost to Frankie Sains, and then he lost to Ricky Simone, who's from here, the local Vancouver, Washington area.
Yep.
He also lost to him by technical submission.
Yep.
A guillotine choke.
I remember that fight, too, and Merab might have won that fight if it wasn't counted as submission. So it was a submission in the very 3rd round, right as the clock ended, as the horn sound.
Yep.
They considered Merab to be out because he had a little bit of a flash knockout. Right when the clock hit 0, he had a little bit of a flash knockout, and the ref called the fight because of it. If it went to decision, there's a really good chance Merab wins that fight.
But since moving on, he's won his last 2 fights against Taryn Ware and Brad Katona.
Yeah, and that Brad Katona, that was a tough fight. Brad Katona was a 2 seasons ago Ultimate Fighter winner, featherweight winner. Now he fights at bantamweight because the way they do their weight cutting for the Ultimate Fighter. But that guy's a tough dude, and he was undefeated. I believe that was his first loss. If it wasn't his first loss, it was his second. That guy was very good and a very he was on the radar of a lot of fans. A lot of hardcores are really looking at this guy to be a really good contender at the bantamweight division, and for Merab to take that guy out, that's a notch in your belt already, even though he hasn't fought a ranked opponent.
Yeah, and Casey Kenny. He's won his last 6 fights. He's only had 2 fights in the UFC. His first fight was to Ray Borg. He won a unanimous decision, and then he fought Manny Bermudez.
Very strange. This man's only had 2 UFC fights yet. He's ranked. He's ranked 15 in the world. That just shows you how much confidence these matchmakers have in him.
To beat Ray Borg right away and then to beat Manny Bermudez, I get it. I get why he's ranked.
Yep.
Those are 2 tough components. So.
Yep. So the matchmakers have a lot of faith in this guy, and I really like this matchup. This is a great matchup. I think this might be one of the highlighted fights. It'll be a lot more fun than what people think. Yep. It's not on anyone's radar. Yep. Early fight of the night fight for sure. Early prelim fight of the night contender. So I'm really excited for this fight. Rob, it's a huge test for him. If he can get it done, he's a top guy and deserves a good fight. Deserves a top 10 opponent, and I will be so happy for him. And to see Matt Serra, Ray Longo hugging him, giving him big hugs and stuff. It's just they are so animated. I love those guys, and I love that whole team. But moving on to another prelim that we absolutely have to talk about.
The John Dodson, Nathaniel Wood.
Yes. Wow, what a great matchup. John Dodson's on a little bit of a skid.
He has been. As of recent, which completely shocks me because at one point this guy was fighting for a title contention spot. Yeah. And since then he's lost his last 2 fights. I mean, to be fair, he's fighting his 2 fights that he lost last, Pereira, first off, and then Jimmy Rivera. Yeah. So, I understand his losses, but they do feed him to the wolves. They feed him killers in and out. Pedro Munoz, Marlos Moraes, Eddie Wineland, John Lineker. I mean, all Demetrius Johnson. Yeah. They feed this guy killers, fight in and fight out, man.
Yeah, and you thought maybe he'd finally get an easy fight. Nope. Nathaniel Wood, and dude, this guy, he is good. He's a real up-and-coming guy from the UK, and he's really the UK's new hope, especially in this bantamweight division. There's not a whole lot of bantamweights from the UK that people can really get behind. This guy is one of them. This guy's trying to be the new Michael Bisping. This guy's got a lot of hype behind him, and if he beats John Dodson, that's exactly what he needs to get a real big name on his belt. And that way he can start trying to get an upper echelon opponent to really test himself and see his skills. And I think John Dodson's a good test. He moves so quickly and his boxing is so clean. It's going to be a very difficult fight for Nathaniel Wood. But if he can figure it out, man, the future's looking very bright for him, especially if he can.
Definitely. Nathaniel Wood he's won his last 8 fights in a row. His last 3 in the UFC with wins over Johnny Eduardo, Andre Ewell, which is the guy we just talked about in a recap show this week.
Yes. And
Jose Alberto Quinones. So.
Wow. Yeah. He's got very, very decent guys. These guys he's beating, there's no slouch. Jose Quinones is going to fight Sean O'Malley, and that guy's good. Jose's got very good boxing.
Well, and he took a year off fighting, too, because that fight was back in March 2006 or 2019. So, yeah.
Oh, really? That's interesting. Yeah, I'm very excited for Nathaniel Wood. I think he.
Oh yeah, he's a young kid too. He's only 26.
Yeah,
he's got plenty of time to develop and get better, and potentially be championship caliber here in a few years.
Yeah, he definitely is championship caliber. I expect him to win this fight, and I expect him to maybe. John Dodson's a guy you just don't finish. Unfortunately, he's a guy he's too hard to connect with. So. Unanimous decision. Are we picking the prelim fights? Do you want to pick those?
Yeah, we can. All right. Let's do that.
Yeah, so Nathaniel Wood, I'm going decision. Okay. I don't think he finishes John Dodson, but I think he just edges him out and outpoints him. John Dodson's so quick. He's just so hard to hit.
Okay, well, I'll go hate to say it too, but you know what? I'll go other way. I'll go John Dodson, unanimous decision.
Okay. And just because we didn't do it, I'm going to go Merab. unanimous decision also. I don't think he finishes Casey Kenny. I think Casey Kenny's too tough. He's only had that one loss, and I believe that was a decision as well. So I'm going to go Merab. I think he out-grapples him. I think he controls him on the ground. I'm going to go Merab, unanimous decision.
I'll go Merab, second round submission.
Good. That's a good choice. Very good choice. So on to the main card. We're not going to talk about all the fights, but there are fights that really do intrigue us and deserve our attention, like Montana De La Rosa. She's number 12 in the world at flyweight. She's got a record of 10-5. She's fighting the number 13 in the world, Mara Romero Borella. Yes. She has a 12-6 record. Montana's gone 3-1 in the UFC and is coming off her one and only loss in the UFC to Andrea Lee. And we all saw that Andrea Lee's a tough girl.
Tough cookie.
Yeah. Very tough girl. So if that's your only loss in the UFC, man, you're a top girl in this flyweight division because, it's not the most developed division right now. Mm-hmm. You don't need to have so many fights in the flyweight division to be a top girl. Like she's only had 4 UFC fights.
Right.
But she's number 12 in the world. So this is a girl everyone's really looking to maybe develop into someone that can be a contender. So this is a big test for her. Mara, she's 2-2 in the UFC, but her only losses were to Kaylin Kukagian
and Lauren Murphy.
Yeah, and we all saw how tough Lauren Murphy is.
And we also saw how tough Chikagian is, in all fairness, too.
Yeah.
And she lost that fight in decision. She lost to Lauren Murphy, though, through TKO, knees and elbows. So
yeah, this is a big fight for Montana De La Rosa because everyone expected her to be the girl to really move up in this division and challenge a Kaylin Kukagian, challenge a Jessica Ai. Mm-hmm. I feel like this top 5 in that division is going to really stay there for a little while.
Yeah.
Because there is a little bit of a talent gap from the top 5 to, obviously Valentina Shevchenko. Valentina Shevchenko's on another level compared to everybody else.
Just put her on a pedestal right
exactly.
now.
Exactly. And she's well deserved to be on that pedestal. But this is a good fight. I'm looking forward to it. Montana De La Rosa, she's got a good ground game and pretty good boxing, so I'm expecting her to finish this fight, actually. I'm going to go with her second round TKO.
Okay. I'm actually going to go Borella here. I'm going to go second round. No, I'm going to go third round submission.
Okay. Yeah. That brings us to the co-main event of the evening. Oh, boy. Man, I really feel like we could talk about this fight for quite a while. It's just because of how interesting it is. We spoke about him earlier. Diego Sanchez. Unranked, but who gives a shit?
Still fighting.
It's
crazy.
Season 1 winner of The Ultimate Fighter.
The Ultimate Fighter, and he's still competing. He's competing at a high level. In all fairness, his last fight was Chiasson. I mean, we all know how that went for him.
And what a great grappling matchup that was.
Oh, yeah, that was awesome. That was so much fun.
Yeah.
But again, like Diego Sanchez is still fighting. He's a warrior. He's got a heart of a lion. This guy wants to fight until he dies.
Yeah.
I really believe that. Like when I see him fight, I look at him and I go, that's a warrior.
Yeah.
That's someone who just doesn't care about the money, doesn't care about the fame, the hype, nothing, who just loves to fight.
Yeah, no disrespect to him, but I just do not think this guy is very right in the head. I think he's absolutely insane. Yeah. In his training, if you just watch Instagram videos of this guy training, his training videos back that up. I don't know what the fuck this guy's doing in the training rooms. It's some crazy shit, especially with this new ass coach. Like they're doing like capoeira, break dancing, and hitting him at the same time. Like they're doing weird shit. And it did not pay off in that last fight. No, and especially when he's the only man in your corner. Like, come on, bro.
Are you serious?
He was the only man in Diego's corner for that Chiasson fight. Insane, isn't that?
That is insane.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, I honestly wish nothing but the best for Diego. Mm-hmm. But, man, what are you going to do? Like, you got to have more than one coach in your corner, and you got to have a guy that maybe you shouldn't be his first client ever.
Right, yeah.
Like, it's absolutely insane when you really start to think about it. But man, is he a tough son of a gun. And even if he is training with some dude that everyone thinks is a whack job, like it doesn't matter. He's still in fights. Mm-hmm. He's still competing at the highest level. And it's honestly baffling how good this guy is in a sense. I mean, is he a top 15 caliber welterweight right now?
No, but he still puts on entertaining fights.
Exactly.
It's not like he's dancing around the ring or he's out of shape, or it's like, you know, like the fall from grace where like we just saw in Bellator Rampage Jackson fighting Fedor, and you were like, what the fuck? What? Why the fuck is this still happening? Why is this still a thing?
Yeah, and the finish was so disappointing.
It was awful. But Diego's not that at all.
Yes.
He still trains, he's still in shape, and he looks good fighting. You know, and he's still winning fights too.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, whatever. He lost to Chiasson, but he's still winning fights. He beat the shit out of Mickey Gall.
Yeah, beat the shit out of him.
I couldn't fucking believe that.
Was fucking him up. And Mickey Gall's an amazing jiu-jitsu practitioner and just outclassed him. Outclassed him completely. Showed that his jiu-jitsu was on a whole nother level. That guy's grappling is a lot of fun to watch. You know, so many people hate on grappling aspects of sport. Think Ben Askren's like the most boring shit, but like I absolutely love grappling specialists. Mm-hmm. I can watch them fight, especially if they're fighting a crazy striker like Michel Pereira is. We'll get into him in a second, but I love watching these grapplers fight. I can watch Diego Sanchez fight all day long. Very entertaining guy, not only with his words, but also with his fighting style. But
so who do you have in this one?
Well, before I say that, I have to give Michel Pereira a little bit of love. This guy, Jesus Christ. What? He's the Yoel Romero of the welterweight division. That's like the best way to explain it. He is so explosive. He is so powerful. He is so fucking big.
And he's also only 26. And that's the thing, too. Diego Sanchez keeps getting, like, they're feeding him savages.
This guy's no joke.
No,
this guy
he's no joke
murked
at all. Here's the thing, man. His last 3 opponents, he's knocked out. Minus his last loss to Tristan Connolly.
Yeah.
But after that, his 3 opponents prior, he knocked them all out.
Murked them
either
fast.
TKO or knocked out.
Yeah.
Like cold lined.
Yeah.
So it's like,
when he flying kneed that fucking guy in like 1 minute or whatever it was after doing
Danny
backflips.
Roberts. Yeah, he did Danny Roberts in that.
Doing backflips off the cage, it's freaking running
insane.
on the walls and stuff. This guy is probably the most entertaining guy in the UFC, honestly, especially when he's doing his backflips and stuff. In that Tristan Connolly fight, did you see when he tried backflipping and then tried landing on the guy, tried kicking him?
I was like, no, what are you doing?
Like, dude, that is so illegal.
And it's a lot of waste of energy during a fight to do a backflip.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
And he did like 6 or 7 of them. And on the way to the cage, he's breakdancing, and then he's doing backflips into the cage.
Tremendous cardio.
Well, and it's no wonder he got tired in that Tristan Connolly fight. The second
of course, because he thought he was going to win, though.
Exactly. He thought he was going to win by knockout in the first round, so he did not give a shit. He blew his load real quick.
He did.
Real quick. And the second he fights a guy like a Diego Sanchez who can take a shot and not get knocked out, the dude's got a serious chin on Diego. Like, he's been knocked out before, yes, but he's got a really good chin on him. And yes, Pereira hits Michel Pereira, whatever his name is.
It's all good.
Pereira. Yes,
as long as we're close.
Yeah, he hits hard.
Yeah,
we all know that. But man, if Diego can grind him out, take him down to the ground, you know, I see him winning.
Okay,
I see him winning by decision. That's my pick. Diego Sanchez by decision. This is such an intriguing matchup.
Okay, so just because matchup solely, and this is what kind of sucks about like predicting and picking fights, is that you love certain fighters, you love these guys, but you got to pick, right? Mm-hmm. You got to pick who you think is going to win. This is one of those cases where like I absolutely love Diego Sanchez. I do not think this guy is the smart choice for him, though. The type of power and explosiveness we've talked about prior is off the charts with Pereira. He's a young up-and-comer. He's 26 years old. I personally think Diego's going to sleep in the first round. I think it's a first-round knockout. I think Michel is no joke. But at the same time, I've said that before with a guy like Mickey Gall, where I'm like, why is Diego Sanchez taking that fight? He's going to get fucking beat up. He's going to get
submitted. That's what I thought.
Yeah, well, I just thought he was going to get beat up. Whether that be, a submission, whatever, or just TKO'd on the ground. Like, I could not believe he took that fight, and then he whooped his ass.
Yeah.
Same thing could happen here. Maybe Diego takes him down. But the way I see it is this guy's got too much power. He's too explosive. Knockout in the first round.
Yeah, that's you could really go either way, man. It's such an intriguing fight. It's a classic grappler versus fucking acrobatus fight, I guess. Yeah. It's a classic backflip dude versus fucking grappler, man. It's It's a crazy fight. I really enjoy watching Michel Pereira. He's a super entertaining guy, so I'm really excited for this fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not surprised this is co-main. Very exciting fight. But, that brings us, man. That brings us right to the main event. Yep.
Corey Anderson versus Jan Blachowicz.
Corey Anderson. He's number 5 in the world right now.
He is.
13-4.
Jan being 6.
Mm-hmm. Jan's got a record of 25-8. Both these guys, man, they're right on the cusp of getting a title shot.
They are.
Both of them.
Maybe one fight away after this.
Mm-hmm. This is a great matchup. This is definitely a number 1 contender matchup.
And this is a matchup we've seen prior. This is actually Anderson versus Blachowicz too.
Yep, this is a rematch. We just watched that first fight recently just to refresh our memories.
We did.
Man, Corey, he struggled.
Corey dominated on the ground.
He did. He did.
Yeah, you are right, though. He did
struggled
struggle
a little bit in the first round. Jan was really landing and really making Corey struggle to land himself. Corey couldn't figure out the timing, couldn't figure out the distance, but really figured out that takedown in the second round. Figured that out, and Corey's the type of guy where once he gets on top of you, you're not getting back up. He's got very, very good top pressure.
And we also have to look at this and go, again, this fight happened 5 years ago, back in 2015. They're completely different fighters now. Corey Anderson has worked tremendously with his stand-up game, with his striking, and Jan's got a little bit more beefier, and a good beefy, not a bad beefy, but a good beefer. He's thicker than he was 5 years ago. I was
and
looking
way
at,
leaner.
Yeah, we were watching those fights, and I was like, man, he looks lean in this. But man, he's looking a little bit more beefed up now. So who knows? 5 years from now, who knows? That's why this is so intriguing too, because you have the 5 and 6. They're both on a cusp of a title shot.
Yeah, that's why MMA is so much more interesting to me than boxing. Because boxing rematches, you almost feel like, okay, maybe it can be different, but in MMA, there's so many more different variables.
It's so many variables.
Oh, you got dominated on the ground last time. Get better takedown defense, and then keep it on the feet, and you can outstrike the guy. Like, so many different things can happen. I'm very, very excited for this fight. This is a very, very intriguing fight. Jan has got serious power.
He's got nukes in his hand, man.
Yeah. When he nuked
can put you out.
Luke
Rockhold. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. The way Luke got hit too, and he just got stupid face.
Just so
just got fucked. That was crazy. That left hook was vicious.
And he also, I mean, it was a split decision, but he also beat Ronaldo Souza too, man.
Yeah, in a close fight, and it was a very controversial decision too that I remember.
It was very controversial. I had Souza win in that fight, but it was close. It could have went either way. That's one of those fights where it's like you can't really get mad because either way, I see it. You know?
There's been a lot of close fights lately. That was definitely one of them. Jacare is so good on the ground, but that fight really stayed on the feet. And it was so... Jan was so worried about the takedown that it came off as a little boring. I don't want to say boring, but it was really... They were both a little scared to engage in that fight. And so... like you said, it was such a close fight. Either guy could have won.
Yeah.
I could see the nod to either guy, really. So I wouldn't say... Jacare got robbed, but it was a very controversial decision at the time. But Corey Anderson, Jan, dude.
I'm super excited about this.
I really am excited. Does Corey get a first round knockout? Like, does he shock us all again, like he did with the Johnny Walker fight, or does he try to repeat what he knows already worked the first time and grind him out for 3 rounds?
Well,
or 5 rounds,
or 5 rounds. Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. I think Corey, I think he may take him down early, work him for 2 rounds, and then stand up with him after he's tired.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good game plan. Tire the man out, and then
I mean, I'm not an MMA expert. I don't know as far as like strategy what you would do, but I mean that would be the one to work for me because I think Corey Anderson has got the advantage on the ground as it sits now. Stand up. Yeah, Blachowicz right at the moment, but Corey Anderson has improved so much in his striking that we could see a whole nother fight. And dude, he pieced together Johnny Walker.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, he walked him down, no pun intended, and put a beating on him and said, "Nah, not today, buddy."
Yeah, and he made it look easy.
Oh yeah, he made it a point.
Yep.
Yeah, to do it. So. If we're going predictions now, you want to do predictions now?
Sure.
I'm going to go Corey Anderson. I'm going to go Corey Anderson, 3rd round TKO.
Ooh. Man, this is such a hard fight to pick. I don't think we get a finish. I think it goes all 5 rounds. I think we get a decision. I think Jan wins 2 of those rounds, but I think Corey Anderson nudges out 3.
Okay.
I think he gets a decision. So, I really don't know. I don't know exactly how this fight's going to go down. Usually I can feel like I have a good idea of what's going to happen, but this is one of those fights where I'm really scratching my head and going, anything could happen. Mm-hmm. Corey could take him down. Corey could knock him out. Jan could knock him out.
Jan could knock him out, yeah.
And we got to remember that Luke Rockhold fight, Luke was really working for a takedown that first round and just couldn't do it. Jan's takedown defense most definitely got better since
it has improved tremendously.
Yes. Yeah. So very intriguing fight. It's really one of those where I just sit back and go, pick him. I got no idea what's going to happen. But Corey Anderson, man, decision. That's just I have to stick with it. I think Corey Anderson is just he stole all the hype from Johnny Walker, and if he wants this title shot, man, he knows he needs to win this fight, and he knows he needs to win it in spectacular fashion. Probably.
And we'll look at the books here. Corey Anderson is favored. He's a -225, while Jan Blachowicz is a +185.
Okay.
So the house has it. Corey Anderson favored almost 2-1.
Yeah, those are pretty.
Or 2-1.
Those are
actually more than 2-1.
I don't disagree with those odds at all. Corey Anderson should be the favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Diego Sanchez at a +140. Michael Pereira a -160. Borella +150 over Montana de la Rosa -170. And then you've got, what was the other one? John Dodson, a +135. Nathaniel Wood, 155. So a lot of pick'ems on this.
There are.
A lot of pick'ems on this fight card. So
yeah.
But a fun matchup.
Yeah. Yeah, whoever is making these matchups, Joe Silva, I guess he's former, but Mick Maynard, Sean Shelby, they've done a great job so far.
Yeah, they really have.
They've
done a fantastic job.
And they don't have to make these cards the most stacked cards in the world.
No, they don't.
They
especially when it's every single week.
Mm-hmm. And especially when they're developing new talent. They always love putting up dudes and making their debuts. Like, there's been a guy debuting at every fight card for the last several weeks in a row now. Yeah. Like, they're really getting new talent in, and they're really growing the organization a lot and these divisions. Yeah, gotta love it. So I'm very excited,
UFC, man. Love the UFC.
Yeah, very excited, man. We got 7-8 more weeks in a row of talking about fights, man. We got so many fights coming up, guys. Stay tuned.
We have a fight card for the next 8 weeks. So
yeah. Yeah, stay tuned, guys. The future is looking very good for us.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I cannot wait.
All right. Well, that's our wrap up for our for our preview of UFC Fight Night 167. Corey Anderson versus Jan Blachowicz. My name is Mason Knight. That is Tabor Cregan. This is our podcast. You guys can listen to it. Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and Stitcher. Be sure to check out our YouTube channel. Subscribe to the channel. Give our videos a like. And leave a comment. Let us know what you're thinking. Our social media pages, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Church of MMA, at The Church of MMA, all one word. Again, my name is Mason. That's Tabor. And until next time.
Yeah, peace.